Hi there, Zam here for NoTube. These are my thoughts and spoilers of the Peaky fucking Blinders, Season 6, Episode 5, The Road to Hell. This episode got Peaky Blinders back where it belongs, in the gangster realm. The last two episodes have been extremely melodramatic and unfortunately not good enough. I mean, Season 6 should have ended with a bang, but unfortunately with two episodes in the middle being a bit lameish, I was kind of worried about where the season was going. And this episode definitely got the show back on track. I will also say that I do feel that we're rushing things a little bit now. There's only 6 episodes in the season, and when you're dealing with the final season finale, all of that, I do feel there's a lot of loose ends that need to be tied up and tied up very quickly, and I don't feel 6 episodes is enough to do it. You know, it would be nice to get more episodes and other characters who we've hardly seen in this show. Characters like Michael Gray, who we initially thought was going to play a prominent role and probably still will play a prominent role, but unfortunately he's been in jail for most of this fucking season, and even though he has been in jail, we see nothing of him, and even other characters like Oswald Mosley comes fleeting by. He obviously has these delusions of grandeur, but there's not much about him. Jack Carlson only came in, I believe, from the 3rd episode onwards. We got some good moments with him though, don't get me wrong. But overall, I do feel there's a rush with this season, and it's going to probably feel like that with the final episode as well. But regardless, I love this show. I just wish there was more of it. But more of it in the right sense, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, I love this show, I want more of it, more. I want more in the sense that, okay, fine, we've got all these fucking characters, give them the time they fucking need, and don't rush everything. Because 6 episodes, unfortunately, is definitely not enough. 8 episodes per season would be plenty, in my opinion. Wouldn't be too little, wouldn't be too much, would be just about right, and would probably cover a lot of the story beats that really needs to be covered. Regarding this episode, we get back to some of that gangsterism that we all fucking love about the Peaky Blinders. Thomas Shelby pays the Chinese opium house a visit, threatens them with a bomb if they don't stop selling opium, and initially those people in the opium house probably thought that the bomb was a fake, but when he drops the bomb in the water and we see it blow up, they realise it isn't. So hopefully they will stop selling opium. On top of that, Thomas is also telling the man about the street that powder needs to stop being sold as well in the vicinity. We get to meet Thomas's son finally, the one from the gypsy village, and his name is Duke. And you can see Lizzie's not too happy about the fact that the family's kind of expanding without a knowledge or anything like that. All these secrets Thomas has, pissing him off a little bit. But fair enough, that's how it is. Duke is basically told to work in the bookies. That's where Thomas wants him to work initially. He can't read, he can't write, so he's just basically going to be clearing off the chalkboard. Uncle Arthur, that is, takes him under his wing as he takes him to the bookies. And we find out that some of the skills that Duke possesses is things like pickpocketing, thievery, stuff like that, as he pickpockets Arthur's watch. Arthur does find this quite impressive and tells him to keep it. Now, even though Arthur is recovering, so to speak, because you do see him drink during the course of this episode, Thomas still feels like he needs help, so he looks for Thomas's ex-wife. Hopefully you guys remember her. Her name was Linda Shelby. Well, she's not a Shelby anymore. Now, she's a religious woman, and Thomas does feel that Linda would be the right person to help Arthur get back on his feet. And because she works for charities and so on, Thomas is willing to pay her charity £10,000 in cash. And Linda decides then to, in turn, help Arthur recover. She says she won't sleep with him, but we'll see what happens. Now, even though Thomas likes to portray himself as a member of parliament and a man of the people, he still can't help being a little bit gangster. And he goes up to the docks in Liverpool and he pays Hayden Stack a visit. And Hayden is apologising for some of the things that's happened, but Thomas is willing to put water under the bridge, so to speak, because he's expecting a shipment of Tommy guns from Boston. And he also shows a bullet to Hayden Stagg and this bullet has the word stag on it, so it's pretty much got Hayden's stag name on it. He's doing all of this in a way because he wants Hayden to follow him, work for him, but he also wants Hayden to feel suppressed under Thomas's power, which something Hayden does point out to Thomas, and Thomas in turn then points a gun at Hayden and tells him, yes, this is why I do it. That feeling of power, that rush, it's better than any drug. And it goes to show, that Thomas, as much as he wants to be an MP, he'll always be a fucking gangster. He likes being a gangster. Now, somebody else who likes to be a gangster and was a gangster and has also become a politician is Jack Carlson. Now, I'll get to him in a second, because prior to this, the bookies, Thomas's bookies, they want to pay off a referee, but this particular referee will not, take the payment. He's an honest man. He's a God-fearing man. All of that bollocks. So they try to intimidate this referee. They bring him in. There's a picture of the referee next to me, standing next to Arthur and Finn. And it's really good, by the way, that we got Finn in this episode. I was thinking to myself, where the fuck is Finn Shelby? But he played a decent role in this episode. But nevertheless, they try to intimidate this referee, and this referee's not having it. He's willing to get beaten up and everything. He's a man who fought in the First World War, or the Great War at the time, as it's now known at this particular time. And he doesn't fear what's going to happen to him. Unfortunately for this guy, because he's not scared, there's only one course of action as far as Arthur's concerned, and that's to kill him. And he gets Billy, who you see on my far side there next to Jack, to kill him. And Billy is very reluctant to do it, but it's either kill or be killed. So because if Arthur tells Billy, listen, if you don't fucking kill him, there's going to be 2 people dead today. And that means Billy's going to be one of them. So Billy has to do it. And he uses a garrote to do it. And it's a really sad, disturbing scene, because you are with the Peaky Blinders, throughout this season or seasons. You are on their side. But there are moments in this show that always remind you how fucking horrible these people are at times. And even though they are our protagonists, so to speak, they are also our antagonists too. These are not good people, because when they do come across a good person, somebody who's honest, hardworking, and lives by a code, they kill him. And that's unfortunately what happened to this referee. Billy's not out of the woods yet, by the way, and we get a moment with Jack Carlson, who's also going through his gangster mode as well, and he finds Billy in these sort of like Turkish baths they have, and he gets a garrote and he puts it right around fucking Billy's balls, and he tells Billy, I know you're the informant and I want you to inform me. And this really puts Billy in the predicament, and you see blood pouring down his leg and stuff. That garrote is a pull away from basically cutting off fucking Billy's fucking meat into veg. And it's a real intense scene, and I fucking loved it. And you just see also Jack Carlson he's loving it too, because he is a guy who was brought up as a gangster, and this is some gangster shit. He knows how to be a fucking gangster. Yes, he is a politician now, but he remembers his roots, and he's going full on gangster on Billy here, and it's an amazing scene. And he wants now Billy to be the informant to him. It's a really good moment. I fucking loved it. Duke, aka Thomas Shelby's son, is not really liking his time in the bookies. He's not really much of a people person. There's too many people in the bookies. Obviously he can't read and write and yada yada. He wants to do other stuff. He steals some money, by the way. This pisses Thomas off, but Thomas then gives him just a few notes of the money he stole and tells him to fuck off. But after a little conversation between the two, Thomas realizes that his son is not meant for things like the bookies. He's a farm boy. He's a stable hand, being a gypsy. So he gives an opportunity to work on the docks, work with horses and shoveling shit and shoveling coal and stuff like that, with a couple of the lads from the docks, so there won't be too many people there either. He can sleep in the stables. I mean, this is the life he kind of lived when he was a stable hand for the gypsies, so I guess this is the life he knows. And this makes Duke very happy, and he's happy to stay, work with his dad, all of that. Thomas kind of understands that this is where he belongs, and he has two sons as well. He has a son for this is like a really good moment of like light side, dark side of Thomas Shelby, which is what he actually says. Having two sons, obviously he wants his younger son, who is an image of wholesomeness, to be on the light side, but he'll want his other son, now the gypsy son, to be in the dark side. So if there's any shit that goes down, he can rely on his blood to be there for him, I believe. We'll see how that pans out. After his moment with his son, he goes to meet Lady Diana. He fills his boat up. I think he goes down to Camden or something like that. He goes down to London to meet her. And they shag. And that was on the cards. I think the reason why she did that was just to kind of ruin things for Thomas in the long run a little bit. Obviously, Thomas, being the man that he is, he's going to take this opportunity to shag someone like Lady Diana, who's absolutely gorgeous and oozes sex appeal. But she's obviously got her own reasons too. She says it's kind of balanced because, in seasons past, Lizzie did shag Oswald mostly. And so she wants to, keep the balance. But nevertheless, we do find out there's ulterior motives as well. And that comes across at the tail end of this episode. So Thomas and his wife are getting ready for a meal with Jack Carlson. They have their ventures ahead of them regarding the opium selling that they plan to do, as well as possibly the rise of fascism they plan to, because they want to change the world and all of that bollocks. Once again, I've always said that Thomas Shelby is not really on board with this. I do believe he's using it. He's basically fucking with these guys and playing them. But I also feel that Thomas is also getting played as well. He's so up his own arse that he doesn't realise that he can be played, and we do find out that during this part of the episode. As I said earlier, Lady Diana, she fucked him just to get sort of word out to his wife, because when she spoke to his wife at the dinner table, she said, "I'm so jealous of you, something you can have for a lifetime that I've only sampled once." And that was basically saying to her, "Look, I fucked your man." And she got really upset by that, and she left the table. Oswald Mosley's also there, and he knows that this has happened. He doesn't give a fuck. It's part of his strategy. And he's basically telling Thomas, "Listen, your girl's riffraff, your wife's riffraff. You need someone more sophisticated, not somebody like her. She's, you're too good for her." But in return, Thomas, who's now drinking, by the way, he was drinking wine, he's drinking fucking whiskey. He basically tells them, "Look, she's too good for me. Like, we are these types of people, we're kind of crooked people, and she's a bit more pure." And you kind of realize that, someone like Lizzie, she can't help but, be attracted to the bad boy, so to speak. But her intentions in life was always for the benefit of her family. It was never really about herself. She wanted the best for Thomas, wanted the best for her kids. She was a good person, and Thomas acknowledges that. We get to the end of the episode now, and we see this preacher walking in. He's a very tanky looking preacher, and he's obviously in the prison yards, I believe, in America, where Michael Gray is currently being held. And honestly, I thought this guy was going to kill Michael Gray. I genuinely thought that, because of his appearance, his demeanour, his look, his posture, everything about him. He looked like a fake priest, and he still might be. But he basically goes up to Michael Gray and tells him, "Look, if you say yes to this proposal, you'll be set free. If you say no, you'll stay in prison forever." And then Michael tells the priest, "Listen, I've consulted with my mother." And the priest reminds him, saying, "Your mum's dead." He goes, "Yes, well, nevertheless, I consulted with my mother." And we do see earlier on in this episode a moment where in Michael Gray's mind, he's seeing his mum, he's seeing his wife, and it's really good to see Helen McCrory back as Polly Gray. It must be some old footage or something from a previous episode that kind of slips my mind, but nevertheless, it was good to see her back. And all of this is happening in Michael Gray's mind, and as far as he's concerned, there will always be a war between the families. There's always going to be this issue, and somebody needs to go down, either him or Thomas. So he relays that message to the priest by saying, you know what, I'm going to kill my Thomas Shelby, and that's how the episode ends. Really good fucking episode. Really good fucking episode. So much ram-packed in this episode. Excuse me, but I do worry that, you know, that, as I said earlier at the beginning of this review, that we are rushing through things now. We had 2 episodes of melodrama. I'm not even sure how I feel about, you know, the daughter dying plot line and all of that. It just kind of takes away from this more interesting stuff. You know, I want to see more of these other characters. I want to see more of Jack Carlson. I want to see more of Oswald Mosley. I want to see more of Michael Gray. I don't want to see more of Thomas Shelby mopping around trying to find some magical spirity gypsy fucking power to save his daughter's life. I never really gave a fuck about that. And now we're getting back to the sort of like the nitty gritty of what makes Peaky Blinders such a really good show. I'm really loving this. It kind of reminded me what I loved about the show in the first place, and this is what Peaky Blinders needs to be. You know, this not what episodes 3 and 4 was, which was, in my opinion, unfortunately, bollocks. Come to think of it. Anyways, one more episode to go, and then we're done. Fantastic show. Fucking love it. I'll be unhappy when it's over, but let me know what you think. Leave a comment below and let me know. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. Bye bye.